And we're hot. Here we are. I'm thinking about trying to get Squish on this. That's really all that I can do today. Sorry for not being on. Had a busy couple of days. Busy week. And so what we got to do is we're going to clear some of this stuff up while I'm waiting for people to show up here. It's Sunday afternoon. Have a good old time. Three people. Who's here? Sorry, I got to bring you guys up on the other phone here. We're going to do a little bit of... Hey, Nikki. Hey, Steve. Looking for something to watch. You're watching me. All right. Bring you up here. That way I can see comments. For those people that are watching later, maybe a little boring. For those people that are watching... Hey, Arbor. Watching during, it's a whole lot more fun. That way we get to interact. Let's see here. Nikki, why are you watching me all over again? All right. So it's a little bit of cleanup here, kind of usual. It's all kind of situated. Seeing this, I'm kind of worried that I didn't send this out. I gotta check and see if the last guy I sent the kit to got that or not. Yeah, Arbor, I'm gonna adjust all of it. I'm gonna adjust all the ports and the squish and the whole bit, everything. So yeah, it's been a busy week. Didn't really get a whole lot of stuff done down here, obviously. What's going on? Just not a whole hell of a lot, you know. I actually had a dinner last night. Well, we had my daughter's birthday party last night, and my birthday party last night also with some friends. So we got to hang out and good fun. Good fun. Haven't seen some of my buddies in a while, so it's nice to see them. You know. Let's put this over here. 50th. Yeah, thanks, Nikki. 40. Not 50. Anyway. So yeah, this is the saw that had a factory big bore on it. And I'm sitting here thinking, you know, should I wait for the new factory big bore, or should I just get it running? And I'm like, I have this big bore sitting around. This is the aftermarket one, obviously. So, like, do I use the aftermarket? Do I use the original? What do I do? I might just use the aftermarket because I have it sitting around. I have some saws that don't last minutes, you know? Just I've rarely seen it be a issue where the quality of the head was the delineating factor. So what the plan here is essentially to get a squish number. And the squish band here is actually pretty tight. Although I might be able to sand it just a little bit. But how do you sand a big bore? I've got 50 millimeter heads. I don't know if I have a 52 millimeter head. I may not have an appropriate head to sand the squish band with. So maybe I'll leave that till later. We'll just get a squish number as it sits. Shoulder spasm in the dentist chair. I'm sorry. Oof. The plan here is I'm probably going to cut a pop-up on here, and I'm going to port the heck out of this head. Certainly looks like it needs some work. It's not bad, but it ain't awesome. The transfer ports, one looks low and one looks high over here, and then the opposite over on the other side. So interesting that this is a single ring piston. Hang on, guys. Hey, you okay? That's not good. All right. You want me to just put it aside for you? Okay. All right, sounds good. I'm live on YouTube. Let me go back to it. All right, later. Bye. Cool. Okay. So my buddy left, and he left something here. So whatever, it's fine. What I just want to do is I want to get a squish number and kind of see where this is at. Piston's backwards, but it won't matter. What we're doing here. Okay, so she's not a head slapper. Hey, Harry. Anybody here I didn't give a shout out to? Usually just throw a couple of screws down. All you need. How come my 3/8 drivers seem to disappear? My personal belief on the aftermarket cylinders is that if you want to play around, have fun, fine. If you want something you can just slap on down and have it work, you really need to be getting an OEM head. Hey, Greg. Yeah, it's pretty rare to have a head slapper, even with a base gasket delete. Farmer, this is probably like 40 some odd thousands, even with the gasket delete. Other thing you have to watch out for is clearance, flywheel clearance. If you start dropping the jug and whatnot, check your flywheel clearance. So let's see here where we end up. You can use thicker solder for this. Yeah, it's going to be loosey-goosey. I'm going to have to double check that. So this is a Farmer Tech Big Bore 52 millimeter on a 372. So 43. 25, 15, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Let's double check that. Just nip off the end of the solder. Stick it over on the side. That's more like 45. Triple check. Let's go to the other side. Yeah, it's about 45. 45 thousandths. Okay. So that's quite a bit of material to take off. And especially if you're going to run a gasket. Let's see. If you're running a gasket, that's another 20. So that'll give you a squish of about 65. Hey, David. So Yikes, that's going to be quite a bit. So what I want to do, start writing down things that you want to do. So Squish was about 40 with a base gas. It's going to be about 60, 45. Sorry, 45. So base with a base gasket will be 65. So you need to take. So if you start with, let's assume I'm running a gasket. 065. Yeah, I want to run. So that's with a gasket. That's what the Squish will be right now. If you want to run a pop-up, let's say we want to run an 040 pop-up, then that you end up with a Squish of 105, right? 105 thousandths. So now to get back to 20, you have to subtract 0.085 is what I actually have to take off the case. Man, keep getting calls. Hey. I'm on YouTube. Yep. Later. Yeah, I think this is like actually lead solder. It's like 60 thousandths lead solder. It actually works really well for doing what I'm doing. I found it in Dad's basement somewhere. So 65 with a gasket is what I have now. If you do a pop-up, which means you're actually grinding off the piston of, let's say, 40 thousandths, because that would make sense. Somewhere around there is fine. 40 thousandths, so you're actually increasing Squish to 105. But then you actually want Squish to be about 20 thousandths, so you have to take 85 thousandths from somewhere. So that's quite a bit to actually take off the case. Let's create 85 thousandths and see what it actually looks like on our caliper here. That's 85 thousandths. It looks like quite a bit. Will I have enough clearance off the flywheel? Shoot, I don't know. So what you're really doing is you're committing this crankcase permanently to work with that head. If I grind off the crankcase, the other way to do it is to grind off the head. And if I do that, then the ears get thin. Dalibor, the best way to get experience for this type of stuff, or to understand the experience, is A, to play with it yourself, and B, go onto the online forums and read. So the best way to, you don't want to take one guy's opinion. And I'm just one guy. But thanks for hanging out anyway. So Do I do the crankcase? Do I do the head? I probably just should do the head. But then the ears are thin. That kind of worries me, you know? Hey, Mega. I know, the head. All right. Or do both, right. David's got the idea. Maybe do both. I could, but it's a lot more work to do both. It's certainly not a big deal to do just the head. I don't know. I think I'll just do the head. So I'm going to write here minus 0.085. So I know how much to take off. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like to grind 40 thousandths off of there and then another 45 off here, you're talking about a significant amount of work. No, it's not port duration. It's just we're just calculating squish numbers. So now I have the number. Next time I go to the folks, I'll do the machining. Once I have the machining done, I can bring it back here and we can actually do, then we can do the numbers and then we can actually do the port work. But I got to set squish first. I put all this stuff back where it was. I had one thing of an unboxing to do today, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is at least sort of interesting. With a taller XT piston, not 52 millimeter. This is a 52 millimeter head. Yeah. Give me half a second. I'll be right back, guys. Let's do the unboxing. So I got a box down here. Hey, Ellie. Pull this off first. Alright, so this. I usually like to pack this, but I don't know when I'm going to get to do the machining, so let's put this aside. Now we've actually got the rest of these 372 parts. I've got the unboxing here, so this is actually somewhat amusing, potentially. So John, this John Riley sent me this. He was blindsided by the shipping. definitely not cheap to ship up here. I just couldn't believe it, though. But John happened to have a brandy new 395 tank. So I could not help myself. 3-set X-Torque piston, but why would you want to do that? Yes, the John Riley. Could a 3 X-Torque piston? Why? An X-Torque piston is really heavy, and it's a completely different configuration on the windowing and everything. I don't know why you'd want to do that. And no, I have not seen James today. Not heard from him either. Yeah, but a perfect 395 tank. This was a steal. Absolutely a steal. So, I'm gonna go put that out in the shed. But while I was buying that, you can't just buy one thing. I get annoyed shipping one thing to somebody. That drives me kind of crazy. So I asked him, what else do you have? And he has this. Yeah, John was practically giving that tank away, so I couldn't help myself. But he also had this. So let's look at this goodies. I'm going to put all that stuff. Yeah, it's a little taller. Yeah, but it's 50 millimeter instead of 52 millimeter. So there's really no point in using that that cylinder. Okay, let's look. We'll look real close at this intake block. The thing about intake blocks, these have a tendency to crack. Of course, you can't see anything if something is. Even if you could make up something. There's kind of not a whole lot of point. There's a crack here. Right there at my fingernail. But that probably won't make nearly as much of a difference. Anything else? As long as there are really no internal fractures. Anything that could open up and cause an air leak, no good. I think that'll be all right. Actually, the cheap and easy way to do that is with a 268 piston, I think. Supposedly. I did a pop-up for Larry, and he tried it, and he said it made less power, but whatever. With a regular 50 millimeter, if you want to add more compression, I think you can relatively easily. I think you can use a 268 head So intake bolts, a couple of head bolts. You know, I think I will throw this block out. It's got a crack here. And it's got a crack over here. So this, right here. So this ear wants to tear off. It's okay. This is not something that I was counting on the deal. I think it just got thrown in, but I think that intake block is effectively cooked. Take care, Patrick. But yeah, so that's not the... These are nice to have. That's helpful. So I'm going to toss the block. Sorry, guys. For those people that are... I probably should order some more of those. The interesting piece is this. In case John Riley's watching, John, are you watching? Couple of rings. Okay, we got machine marks there, a couple of scratches on the piston, but a little bit of wear, but not bad. But this head has been boarded. I would actually even out. The intake is like on the bleeding edge of how wide it can be. But I would most certainly even it up just a touch. Hey Harry, have a good night. So, just to show you guys what I'm seeing, if you guys can see what I'm seeing, it opens in the dead center first, and on an intake you want it to open. And I'm being real picky here. This is really picky, but I don't have a whole lot, Ken, so I'll probably not be on for. So let's look at some light. So where does it crack first? Can you guys see that? See, it cracked on that side and in the dead center before the other side. See? Anyways, mouth is feeling better. Stitches dissolved. Still fine. Yeah, it might be a bit, but I'm glad you're on the mend, man. So a little bit of evening out here to do on this head. The exhaust is very nice, polished, pretty heavy bevel. Let's look there too. See if we can get the light to shine in the spark plug hole. That's pretty good. It opens nearly dead center first. Again, a tad uneven. It opens on this side a little bit sooner. So I could grind a little bit on this side. But the transfers look very nice. See, I still, on transfers, I still like grinding away. There's a lip right here. I like grinding that away. But the transfer itself looks just fine. You want to see how even the transfers are, left to right? Certainly a nice start. The squish band looks very nice. Really wide, so this is going to generate compression like crazy. So the transfers, this transfer is ramped down a bit, which is fine. So this is at the bottom of the bevel there. That one's at the bottom of the bevel. This one's got a little bit more. This side just has a shade more ramp. So what I might do is I might work on this one just a little bit overall. But this head will generate compression. There's no question about it. Look at the squish band in here. You guys see that band? Look at that. That is wide. Transfers are really close. If nothing else, it's really, really close. Well, smooth out what edges? The intake? Yeah, absolutely. The edges of the band? There's no need. The band is beautiful. Band's beautiful. I don't need to get rid of any edges there. This I can smooth out. This lip here. That type of thing drives me nuts. You're late, but it's okay, James. Hope everything's okay, you know? Just gonna kiss this transfer just ever so slightly. Whatever his numbers are here, I'm not even worried about it. Absolute numbers doesn't really affect me too much. I just want it super even. Left to right. Lost one. Yeah, the drill. All right, and this one, I need to extend this out just a little bit more. This is for sure one of those things that you can play with for near on forever. At some point, you got to put it down because you're likely to screw something up, you know. Find a different burr here. That's better. Take care, David. Yeah, that one's great now. Now I just need to hit that with the hone, or the ball diamond, rather. Good. $10.10, huh? Last one sounds good. I know. Make it stop. Now I'm going to use a diamond to actually just finish the bevels, and then it'll be right where I want it. May feel a little bumpy. This is me just being absolutely insanely picky. I know that the port work here actually ran well, so not that worried about it, but, you know. What's for sale, Nikki? What are you looking for sale? Because I sell lots of stuff. Well, I would sell lots of stuff. All right, let's go to the exhaust. Little extra bevel dead center. Little extra bevel on this side. Oh yeah. Then we can go right in. A straight guy here. Get rid of the gunky here. This side was opening sooner than that side, so I got to grind on this side just a little bit. Yeah, this wasn't cheap, James. I'll tell you what. Should have two 372 XPs built in 10 years. Yeah, good. Still a hair more. Hot spot. more even than it was. And it's not that far out. It's not a matter of it being far out. It's just, we could do better. Now I can hit it with the sandpaper. Cutting fluid? I don't. A little bit of grease if you want to make sure something doesn't kind of really bind up, but I'm not a cutting fluid kind of a guy. Certainly not for what I'm doing here. Need some 50 grit. It's around here somewhere. There we go. That's lovely, right there. That's it. That's the spot, huh? Whatever it is, it's more even than it was. Don't enjoy yourself too much there, Mega. Jeez. Hey, Georgie. Welcome. Doesn't catch your skin. Hopefully it won't catch a ring, you know? Oh, it's alright. It's smooth. The issue here is I just wanted to make it left to right so it's even. So it opens evenly, you know? Now we just have the intake to do. That's easy. Again, I'm not trying to change numbers necessarily. I just want it more even than it was. That's a little better. Who made the cylinder? This is, I got it from Riley, and this is John Riley, and he had this done by Eric Copsey. He has a lot of his stuff done by Eric. I think this is Eric. I never met him, never talked to him. Doesn't look like a bad job. I'm just being stupidly picky on this, that's all. It was an excellent head start as far as I'm concerned. I probably wouldn't have opened the intake quite as wide as that, because that's really like on the bleeding edge of being just open, but it's real close. real close. Let me give this a quick wash. I'll be right back. So this is 223 pounds is what it says on the top of the head. That's pretty stout compression. The machining looks fine. No issue with that. We'll have to double check again with that clearance, like you mentioned. I don't have a saw to put this onto, by the way, but I don't actually have one ready to go, but I just hated getting something from Riley that was without... getting one thing is just silly. I don't like shipping only one thing. So now I can look at the bottom of the skirt here. As it opens, does it open flat? Yeah, now I'm really splitting hairs. A little more there. Just, yeah. There's no point. Now we're splitting hairs. So that's, again, closer than it was to having the whole thing open evenly, left to right. There's no build to do here. I'm just kind of evening this up in anticipation of a build maybe in the future. But I definitely don't need more 394s. I really don't need any more saws, period. And I just hate shipping just one thing. That handle was just too good of a deal to pass up, and then I asked Riley if he had anything else, and sure enough, this came up. So the thing is, like, if you pay for a head by a good 394 head is going to run you $100 easy, probably plus the piston, rings, whatever. So, we're talking about a head that's already got machining on it for this was 200. That's kind of hard to beat, assuming it's machined by somebody that's doing a good job. And this looks fine. At least visually, this looks just fine. Usually run up against an issue here on the side. Possibly running into the crankcase. And the flappy sander is just a drywall screw with a slit down the middle. That's all that it is. Now she's ready to rock. I'm not even going to bother doing the plating there, or the lip there. You could go crazy and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, but at least for right now, I'm good. Yeah, literally a drywall screw. I ground off most of the threads here so it actually fits in here in the chuck, but it just is a slice down the middle of the drywall screw. That's all that is. So, I don't know. I think that's it. I think I'll call it a day. It's time for me to go hang out with the family a little bit. And other than that, that's practically that. Thanks to Riley for some cool stuff here. And yeah. You're welcome, Lost One. Hope I kept you guys occupied for the day. We'll get back to that 372 as soon as I get the machining done. I don't know. Again, I don't know when it'll get done, but maybe one of these days. Everybody have a good one. Craig, James, thanks for moderating, obviously, and Ken too, if Ken's around. Mega, and everybody else, have a great day. Be safe, okay? Everybody, enjoy your evening, all that jazz. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Bye, Nikki.